We're gonna play knees over toes, I spy. I spy with my little eye, some Peterson step-ups. Yeah, choo-choo train. Woo, woo. All right, gotta bring it around. Second verse, same as the first. Oh wait, I'm the caboose now?
The beginning of 2020, that would not have been possible for
You
my
would have been
knee.
like, fuck that.
I would have fucked my knee up.
Wow. Well, just think how fundamental that is to just to like have it survive, you know?
Yep.
Right.
If you fall, if you're going downstairs. But I do think the backward sled is the safest way to get into that. But it's also like we shouldn't be so jacked up in the first place that we can't go down a step and be strong enough to go back up the steps. So what we were doing is still foundational, but the sled is kind of like a gentler way to get into that.
I spy with my little eyes. So do some more stretches here. You put your foot up on here. I know Ben does his ass to grass split squats.
Oh yeah.
I'm not as good at that move, but I can still get my knee to get into a similar position here. And I can push my knee over.
Yep.
I can mess with this. I'm getting a stretch in the ankle. If I want the hip to open up, I can get back in here. If I want it to be more challenging, because a ramp is pretty convenient, I can go down lower. And now I'm actually getting something a little bit more legitimate out of it.
Wow,
I
nice.
can do some reps. And then I'm going to flip over on the other side over here. This side. Don't have to be confined to just the gym. Do it wherever you can. Get some sunlight. Get outside.
Yeah, you don't actually need anything
Right.
to get really good results.
Zero money spent.
Yeah, I do think the gym provides all kinds of new opportunities.
Right.
But there's something interesting. I spend so much time on my zero program just mastering my body, but what Mark's doing is brilliant here, scaling it. Just scale to whatever amount you can handle here without pain, and then notice the back hip flexor as well as stretching. So,
Would you say there's
brilliant
a difference between doing it on an incline and then doing it on a decline for the ankle, for being able to get deeper?
Yeah, you probably get deeper that way, yeah.
In general, I like an incline for the heel. I built my split squat wearing Olympic weightlifting shoes. So particularly if I'm using weight, I like to have the heel elevated if I'm using weight,
Yep.
and have a stable foot.
We'll do it in synchronization over here. Synchronize. I think
I'll follow your
synchronization,
pace.
I think, is a made-up word. See if I can sneak him into.
So see, this would be more stable if we were going to add weight.
Yeah.
But someone could let the heel up and balance with body. You know,
Stance.
it's not like you can't do that.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing as wearing Olympic weightlifting shoes. How many people do you see doing their max squat, without Olympic weightlifting shoes? It doesn't mean you can't, but it's just probably safer to have something stable if you're loading.
There we go.
And
How
honestly,
long-
those are two. Those
Yeah, I
two
know.
alone, you could probably make.
Right?
You could make gains for a long time
Oh, yeah.
just by really finding your pain-free zone and doing those two.
What were the two main things for you that helped flip your knee pain around?
The backward sled concept, because that was the only thing I could do to actively get out of pain, and then figuring out that I had to go full knee bend, and then trying every which way to get into that without pain. Those were the two. It's almost the opposite ends of the spectrum. Complete, no eccentric loading backward, short range of motion, and then actually going, with eccentric load, full range of motion. Those were the two for me. And then concurrently, the common sense stuff, working the hamstrings, things like that. Some of the things like tibialis and hip flexors popped up that I think really, those reverse squats, all that stuff I feel like soothed the whole process.
Was there ever a day where you got up out of a chair or went to go do something, steal a basketball from somebody or something, where you were like, oh, that was really weird, my knees don't hurt that bad?
Oh yeah, totally. And
How long did that take?
honestly, 2 weeks after I started going backward sled every day.
But you were in
And then
pain previously for a decade.
Yeah, and I had completely stopped playing basketball, and I was still coaching some little kids to make money, teaching them basketball skill, but I couldn't even get out and do the drills and stuff.
Wow.
And then 2 weeks after really getting that blood going backward every day, starting to get into full knee bend, and then I was just doing my normal thing with them that I always did, And then I noticed like, whoa, I could handle like pressure. Now, it's not like it was just a perfect journey from there, but immediately I made the decision I was gonna save up money, figure out how to get myself like into a junior college, and I did it. And I honestly have never missed a basketball game for my knees since, but I've been like actively, working on it since.
Sick.
You can even get a little backward walking in.
You could.
Going back to the gym.
Mark, for your running and stuff, I used to go like this, Muhammad Ali.
Yep.
And I have a friend who broke the world record for running a mile backward.
Are you serious?
He had to give up running.
Yeah.
I'll have to find his name. It'd be a really interesting podcast. We text often. He had to give up running, ended up falling in love with running backward, used it to rehabilitate the ability to run forward. Now he's a track coach. He runs.
Rear view mirror?
What?
You need like a rear view mirror, or you're like your phone.
Yeah. People have mentioned that. Just like there's your next invention.
Feels incredible.
Yeah. A rear view mirror.
Yeah, it feels incredible going backwards.
Now I'm not saying this is easy, but this stimulates the stuff you need to protect yourself to run forward without foot pain, shin splints, knee pain. That's true. Yep. They did a study on 13 to 15-year-old kids.
Yeah.
Sprinting backwards. They got faster than the group sprinting forwards at sprinting forwards.
Yeah.
You get that, Mark? They took 13 to 15-year-old kids, two groups. One group did forward sprints, which we already all do.
Right.
The other group did backward sprints, which they probably have never done. And the backward group got faster at sprinting forward and actually got significantly more vertical jump results, which makes sense because your knee has to go over your toe to do a vertical.
That's crazy.
Want to get one in?
Yep, let's go.
Yep. Yep. Killer conditioning.
Yeah. Woo!
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
That's wild.
Woo! That's conditioning to jump higher. So when you recover from that, the foot's stronger, the soleus is stronger to protect the Achilles.
Going backwards.
Yeah. Now someone would have to, no different than doing a workout. You'd have to recover, come back stronger, do it sensibly.
Get used to it.
Yeah. It's a killer workout.
It feels amazing.
I guess one sprint backward is worth 10 forwards by the math.
Oh, whoops. The bus is like, these retards. Fuck you guys.
I think that's the hidden benefit of all the backward crap I've done over the years. Is mental.
Right.
So, let's say going backward with a sled, and let's say everyone in the gym is going to look at me funny, right? But I know that's the right thing to do for myself. That carries over to so many aspects of life. I think it's the hidden adaptation of going backward and doing these different exercises than other people are doing in the gym is you no longer fear what the sheep think of you.
Right.
And so you can innovate, you can do what you want, you can be the person you want. And I see comments all the time like, man, I really want to do that backward sled, but I'm afraid of people in the gym looking at me funny. Do you have any advice? It's like, you just figured out the number one exercise you could do for yourself because it's not only going to help you physically, but mentally. Now I don't even blink if I have an idea, and even if it's not a normal idea, but if I know it's the right idea, I don't even blink, and I'm just like going forward, not thinking about the naysayers.
I also don't think people really care that much in the gym. I think if they are looking at you weird, it might be more like intrigue of like, why is that guy doing that? I wonder what he's doing. I wonder, why is he doing that exercise in that weird or different way,
Well, let's take that. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, let's take that cable-seated good morning. So Nsima came up with that today. Now, Nsima, if you went to the local 24-hour fitness, you have to go set up the bench and start doing cable-seated good mornings. You see how that's gonna that's a drill in mental toughness.
Right.
That's a drill in being able to think creatively. It's just the ability to not care what people are gonna say. So. I feel for you out there if it seems, I started out scared shitless. I was really scared to talk to the camera. When you have to, it's like, oh my gosh, I have to talk to a camera, and I had terrible communication skills when it came to pressure like that. Just do it.
Everyone cares what people think.
Yep.
Everybody does.
Yep.
It's very normal. Joe Rogan did that whole IG post the other day Just shows you like the guy, he cares about what people think of him.
Yep.
Otherwise, he'd be like, F everybody.
Yep.
You know? Or he just wouldn't say anything.
Do you care about the way people walk backwards with the sled? Because sometimes when you see some people and they load it up,
Just kind of lean back. with
they
their
kind of
weight.
just like lean back rather than deliberately.
So the way
Do you
the way
care?
I-
Do you think it matters?
The way I teach it is I teach it with a belt, which I feel like helps you learn how to do it. And when you have that belt on and you have to drag it backwards, it's really simple on each step. Can you get your knee behind your toes? So one way would just be leaning your body weight.
Yeah.
The other is like, can your knee can your toe get behind your knees?
Right.
Okay.
So you see in this position, the toes behind the knees. So it's really that simple, but there is a difference between that and getting there. Now, once someone's really used to that, then like how we've been strapping up, like I still feel it working all the right ways. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I feel like you can. I feel like you can hold on with straps and go heavier, but it's still a balance for me. So I'm still going 2 days a week. I'm belting up and going toes behind knees, really locking in that form. And then the other 2 days, on upper body days, I'm going to be loading up heavier with the shake straps.
I think the truth of like something like sled work is a lot of repetitive motion.
Yep.
And you should move so much that after a while it doesn't matter.
Yep.
So it's like, just, you want to do it the wrong way and you want to kind of lean back and be lazy.
Okay.
Like, go ahead, but do it really far.
Yeah.
It's probably
do
still
it-
going to work. Exactly.
Do it for a long period of time, because then you're going to get dragged
Exactly.
out into deep waters anyway.
Exactly. And that's ultimately, like, if I have someone in my gym.
That's what you had me do the first time. You
Yeah,
were
we
like,
just did
okay,
it.
we did like 4 laps back and forth, and you're like, okay, let's run with it. And I was like,
Yeah.
what the f-?
Yeah. It's the
I was
best
like, this
form
guy's
is the
trying to
one.
kill me.
Yeah. Yeah, and ultimately the best form is the one that feels the best, you have the least pain, and you
Right.
get the most burn. And if you just put an endless amount of weight, usually you're not going to be able to get into a rhythm and get enough
Yeah.
burn. And if there's no weight, you're not going to get into resistance.
I noticed
and
the same
different
thing with
turfs.
pulling the sled forward and having the belt.
Yeah.
It's like you just get into this weird position where it just doesn't seem as effective.
Yeah.
I'd rather have my toes and my heels and everything making good contact with the ground each time and being able to push off.
Yep. Yeah, so
really
that's
nicely.
it's actually good advice. Like when you're moving a sled, the best weight is probably the one that you get the most burn out of it.
Right.
And your form, like what form gets it to burn the most, what
Yeah.
weight gets it to burn the most. It'll be different on different turfs too.
Right.
When I was training GSP, their turf was the thickest turf
Oh,
I had
shit.
felt, that we didn't even need to put weight on the sled. And we were doing push down, backward back,
Yeah.
with no weight on the sled because their turf was like super thick. So
Yeah.
you really can't go into it with any preconceived ideas. Every turf is different, every sled is different, and you're gonna have to feel it out and find that weight that you get the most pain-free burn. Quad's looking good.
Thank you. Yeah. No, I've been having my mom, who's like 63, 64, start doing backwards walking every day.
Oh wow.
And she's been having some knee issues before too, but she started doing that last year.
Wow.
Had massive benefit for her. So
That's
it's something
huge.
that anybody can do, which is amazing.
Supposedly, like, really good for like your mental health,
I was gonna say
especially
that
for older folks because of the concentration level. Like, you got to really pay attention, you know.
has potential for dementia, believe it or not. So
Wow.
there's a variety of studies that show interesting things like that with potential for dementia. And
Yeah.
it's hard to get society to totally change, but if there was some way to just set up parks where there was like a railing there, some
Right.
kind of safe railing,
Yeah,
it would honestly be a great investment in a
You know,
in
it's
a
also
community.
amazing but dangerous is going down the stairs backwards. 'Cause you have zero pain. It's unbelievable. But yeah, you got to have railing. You got
Yeah.
to hold on to something probably.
Yeah. But fortunately with sleds, it's actually the sled slows it down.
Yeah.
And if you're using a sled, that means you're on a space where the turf is set up
The
and
sled
smooth.
is great, you know, because a lot of people don't have access to like a hill
Yep.
and to do that kind of exercise. But
The sled is the king, and if treadmills manage to get popular and you walk in every gym and they have a row of 10 treadmills,
yeah,
you could have a strip of turf,
Yeah.
And I've had to recognize that I'm better off continuing to promote that and one gym at a time get sled turf in there rather than run away from what is the most effective, which is turf.
you walk in
and
a
a
gym
sled.
that's got 10 treadmills, you just walk yourself right on out of there. Just keep walking.
Yeah, but it's like if those got popular and they cost, $5,000 a pop and you got a row of 10 of them.
Right.
So of course you have the space. Space is money. But I still think it would be more cost effective to have turf and sleds compared to treadmills.
How was it being on Joe Rogan?
Joe's just a great guy. So I already missed just getting to talk to that guy.
Yeah.
You know, that was like being with you, and my wife yesterday getting to hang out with you. She was just so shocked by the person you were. It wasn't like, oh
cool.
wow, this is like a great business opportunity or something like that.
Right.
And so, to me, that was absolutely the coolest thing about Rogan, is to see that his success has happened to a great person.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, my brother always say, like, when we've been around him too, we're like, this guy is dope. Like, I don't know his personal business, but it appears he seems to be somebody that you can actually look up to, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of times you're disappointed, and it feels like you can't look up to people a lot of times, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, he walked right in, knew all his staff like friends. Like, there's no hierarchy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of how he treated people.
Right.
Got down on his hands and knees, was playing with my baby. So
That's great.
he's either a real dude or he's like the world's best actor. But at that point, really, he's just a real dude.
Yeah.
You know, he's just as real as it gets. So I am grateful to have you and be able to model after that. And in my brief time with him, it was cool to see that he was like that as well.
He gets everything in every day, you know? He's got kids, he's got a wife, he's got multiple businesses, he's got his comedy, he's got a podcast.
Do more, be more.
And when he goes to his podcast, it's not without either having dropped his kids off or done a workout already, you know?
And then he is like so interested in his podcast. Like,
Oh yeah.
like I felt like it mattered to him, you know?
Yeah.
And here I am, number 1,766. So that's really the skill. It's no different than Michael Jordan playing game number 1,766.
Right.
And somehow he's just as into it as if it was the biggest game of his life.
Right.
That's such a skill.
Was today your first day meeting Kelly Starrett?
Oh yeah. First time getting to shake his hand and meet that guy. Super fired up to be able to do a podcast with him, be able to have him share a bunch of helpful knowledge for people with their knees.
Internet's gonna explode seeing you guys together.
I hope so, because there's going to be so much useful knowledge in there. Can't control the algorithm, but he and I have just think how hard we've worked to provide solutions for people. So, should be the most power-packed podcast for mobility.
Getting people out of pain.
Exactly.
I got a lot of cool stuff to explain on this one to open it up, so I'm excited.
You're able to see you've lived strength to the fullest. Now you're looking at mobility.
Yeah.
So you have a different perspective than someone who's like only done one thing.
Yeah.
And so now you're able to make breakthroughs like this for people struggling.
Yeah, I think I get no credit, you know, for being like an athlete. Like there was points in my life where I was very athletic, and I know I can restore a lot of that. I'm also not afraid for something to take 3 to 5 years. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It's totally fine. It might take a while, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's a great goal. That's why we're there. It's my lucky hat, because I just want to be able to dunk when my kid can dunk.
Oh shit.
So every workout I go in, I'm training so that when I'm almost 50, I can still dunk, you know?
Oh, that's awesome.
And to figure it out smooth enough that he'll have, you know, he won't have the genetics to dunk. I didn't, you know?
Right.
So I'll have to train to dunk, and I'll have to freak longevity. Thanks, bro.
All right, you see how we did that? We snuck in some work and a 10-minute walk all at the same time.
This guy does more, do more, be more. Oh my God. Unreal.
Hopefully you guys learned some stuff on that walk. We just showed how you can kind of integrate and mix in some stretches as you're walking. Why not? You see a bench, why not do a couple squats on it? Do 20 squats. If you see something to put your foot up on, why not do some ATG split squats? You saw us doing the like kind of Peterson step up type thing. Strength is never weakness, weakness is never strength. Catch you guys later.